Hi, beautifuls and beloveds. So this is Bad Guys, Spy Guys, it's either 5 or 6, I'm sorry. I think it might be 6, okay.
Yeah, so I'll start from the beginning. Information that could be targeted, proprietary formulas and processes, prototypes or blueprints, research, technical components and plans, confidential documents, computer access protocols, passwords, employee data, manufacturing plans, equipment specifications, vendor information, customer data, access control information, computer network design, software including source codes, phone directories, hiring, firing strategies and plans, negotiation strategies, sales forecasts, pricing strategies, corporate strategies, marketing strategies, acquisition strategies, budget estimate / expenditures, corporate financial data, and investment data.
There's more to this list. This got cut off. But we can give at least one, if not a dozen examples where this was done to us. One of the things here is how we vet people in interviews. That is copyright. That is procedural. That belongs not only to the people who formed it, but the company, our company. And it seems that we had a shill who was like, wait, why is this person, applying for our company? Is it to say, oh, our company wanted them and they were just using that, saying, hey, look, I'm getting an offer from this other company, so you need to pay me as a means to get in to something else? That is also a form of leverage, and we're onto it, and we don't appreciate that. So everybody out there, please, if somebody is actually saying, there's this other company that wants me, ask them, oh, really? Well, what company would that be? And then call that company and ask them. And if that person doesn't fess up and say, they don't have to. I would strongly suspect that they're lying somehow. They're just trying to create a situation of desirability so you hire them, right? Mm-hmm. Also, we're very suspect to the fact that they now know how we vet people and the process in which we do so. So it was very suspicious, because I'm like, wait a minute, you are way overqualified, because I knew who the person was, and I knew that. It's like, I was familiar with their work. You're way overqualified for this. We can't pay you what you're worth because there's no budget for that, for you to do that. We didn't need somebody higher up here, because I'm usually that person. And, so, right?
Yeah.
It's like, wait, that seems suspicious right there. So that's also something else you need. And I'm not accusing this person, but it was very strange, because we were willing to say, okay, you're overqualified, but we're willing to hire you, and then just totally give us some BS reason. It was just really strange. And then they were trying to say, I'm worth more than this. Well, yeah, hon, we know that, but that's not what this job pays for. It's very documented what it is. It's an entry-level job. But, we don't discriminate. If somebody wants, something on a lower scale, maybe we thought they just had too much in their lives. That's a legitimate reason. But we're not going to let them try to leverage against us, saying, well, you got to pay me more. No, the budget calls for this. We wish we had a more appropriate matching job, but you applied for it. We didn't solicit you. But that kind of stuff is very suspect to us right there, so we're like, something's wrong. And then, they were trying to put us in a very strange, bad light, saying, well, I'm worth more than this. I was like, yes, you are, but like I said, it wasn't within our budget. It was an entry-level job. It was actually an internship. And internships don't have to pay. We want to pay minimum wage. Now, minimum wage has gone up, so anything that we have of yesteryear, in a sense, is outdated. We have to update that. But, yeah, we were willing to pay this person and reflect minimum wage as it goes up. But, that was strange. We don't have to pay, but we wanted to.
Yes.
So, that's, access to control information, copyright, protocol, all of that is a company's proprietary, protective, intellectual property. And that was being used against us and harmed. And it's like, wait, so you get these signals and signs of the they trying to infiltrate and trying to set up and trying to, do all these funny, finagly things, and you just feel naked and dirty after the experience because you're like, wait, we're actually trying to do something legitimate and nice here and trying to propagate income for people and all this great stuff, and then come to find out it comes across as a real slimy setup. I mean, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then this person was being congratulated. We saw it online in this little chat room, and I'm like, wait, what did they just do to us? It seemed too, the timing seemed a little too common and too close to the whole, interview process. I'm like, that's very weird. But we don't want to falsely accuse, but these are all signals of what we're talking about. And the federal government obviously knows about it, so we're like, let's just kind of stay away from that. Because we don't want to be involved with sinuous people and doing this stuff. And we don't want to set up our good company members to befall some harm either. God, you guys, there's so much in the way of examples for all of this. Pricing strategies. Well, yeah, with ticketing and everything like that. And we've had people influence us to lower our ticket prices. We won't do that again because we're entrusting them that they knew the area better than we did. And I'm like, wait, this is way too low for this price. We can't even break even. Of course, the venue wouldn't want us to do that. And so that person was accessed and then through us. Because I'm sure that these people are, could be, I shouldn't say I'm sure, it could be that these people hypothetically are promised, hey, just do this and play along and we'll give you a better deal somehow. Which, they like to look for unthreatening, non-threatening people to attack. They also use people like us, no more though, to vet their circle too. Pull a fast one on us, and we will then have something on you. That's the whole thing. They use it as leverage. You're going to keep your mouth shut. Otherwise, we're going to go tell them what you did. Be careful. Don't fall prey to that. You might want to reach your dreams that much quicker. Do it the slower way because it's not worth it with these people having stuff on you. That's how they keep you in the group. And this stuff also goes into things like that as well. Be careful, guys. We don't do that. You make a mistake, we want to fix it so you don't keep doing it. And so whoever you go to next, they won't say, oh, you know what? Their company, being Rubans Rouges, Red Ribbons, Noelle's Pillows, all these products and businesses or whatever that we have, they won't say, oh, you put out a really bad work. We want you to look good. We want you to keep growing. As much as I hate letting people go because you work so hard to build them up, you don't want to let people go. And that's why contracts are important. So that way, if you're doing well and they're doing well and you want to keep them within that, you have a contract. So, non-competition clauses and all of that too. But yeah, they do stuff like this. We know because it's been done to us. And I wish I knew a lot of this stuff beforehand. I just, you never think it's going to happen to you. You never think you're going to be the one abused. You never think you're going to be the one taken for. And it takes a big person to stand up and saying, I was fooled. You don't want to be the one with that, But I don't care anymore. Fine. Call me a fool. I'm that much wiser because I said I was fooled. And it takes a lot. You have to humble yourself within. It's humiliating. It is. I'm not going to say it's not. But then I have to turn it around and say, you know what? I shouldn't feel shame. The people who did this to me, to us, to the company, are the ones that this judges, not me. An innocent bystander is just that, an innocent bystander. Other things, what it can result in, and it's not just intellectual property, it's any kind of invasion into your company, into your family, into your personal lives. We already said bad guys, spy guys, right? This is a great title, actually. It's cute. It can result in lost revenue, employment, damaged reputation. All of this we've experienced. Health and safety concerns from counterfeit products, lost investment for research, such as R&D, delays or help me, please.
I need to read all of it.
Yeah, thank you.
Lost revenue.
I already did that. Just continue.
Delays or interruption in process.
Wait, no. Read that again. That's
Delays or interruption in production.
Yeah. So we've had we've had all this happen. I mean, our festival is being interrupted now. We don't know if it's an innocent mistake or not, but we can say, and we love the owner of this company, so we're not faulting that person at all, because we want to wait and see. But it seems like the person we were in touch with, that our board was in touch with, was trying to say that we were being unprofessional. No, and it's well documented. We did everything right. We have done everything that we have always done before. We have a standing open invitation from the owner, drop in any time, which we don't do. We very carefully make sure that it's okay. If a door is open, we ring the bell, we knock, we say hello, we make sure we get permission, which we do and did, all of this. But, they were trying to set us up for a fall, and we're like, no, we're quite done with that. And, so now our festival is barely going, but we're making it go. We have lost revenue because of what has happened. We have lost a little, all because we didn't do anything wrong. And then this person that was the liaison was calling us unprofessional and all these things. It's like, I don't think so. We were not being unprofessional in any way, shape, or form. We are warning and alerting you, which is exactly what the FBI says to do. And we had to come down hard and say, no, the FBI says if you are concerned, you should, out of the goodness of your heart, and I'm doing a summary of that, notify those that you are in your circle that you care about, that this might be happening, and to be alert and make sure you tell them, somebody is like trying to coerce you, and you don't turn around and say, you're being unprofessional. No, that is the law. It is very professional, and we were doing everything right. They gave themselves away, not the owner, but these other people gave themselves away that there's something going on, because you don't come around and say, you're being unprofessional and we're sure we're not wanting to work with you. We're trying to protect you. That is extremely professional. It's loving too. It's concerned for your human being. And if somebody is harming you, let us know so we can protect you. That is not right. Mm-hmm. Totally not unprofessional. Documented. It's not a lie. It's the truth. We have it. And what is behind it, we don't know. We can't say. But that's for, these people up here that are helping us figure all this out. We are trying to do our best here with a very bad situation. And it seems like many places that we connect with have been infiltrated, or something funny is going on. Again, we don't want to judge anybody falsely, but this is the factual evidence that we have, everything I've said. So what's behind it, we are still not sure of, but that will remain to be seen. But it's going to come out. We're going to find out. Okay, keep going.
Who might try to steal your intellectual property? So there are 6 points. Domestic and foreign commercial rivals, domestic and foreign startup companies, foreign intelligence officers, spies, it says, disgruntled employees, opportunists, and organized criminals.
Yeah, lone wolves are also called as. And we know a lot of this. We've experienced all of this stuff. We've even been falsely accused of some of this stuff, which we cleared up. And it needs to be remedied. These people look for the chink in your armor, even if it was innocently so. And they try to, they connect that and pin that on you, saying, see, look, they have a history for that. I have cancer in my family. Well, if we make sure that certain elements are in her environment, she'll get it again. That, yeah, they can do that. So I'm savvy to this, so I know what to keep out of my environment. Very bad. You have to be careful. They use these tactics to invade and access intellectual property. So if I'm out of the way, they now know the whole story behind Red Ribbons, who owns it, certain dates, which, we didn't give everything away because we were suspect that this was happening. And, yeah, that's how they try. They will use spies. Spies, it's a copyright office. Spies in a business, whereas we're friends with, the person at the top. You see, we're trying to be very careful and loving, but you got to be careful because these people go in for the, they're like, no. They have this attitude. This is very much with communism, socialism. That's what it is. You don't get a choice of what to do with your property. We believe it needs to be redistributed this way. We want it. We want it. We want it. It's control and money that these people are after. Go ahead. Good job.
Alright, so insider threats. It says, look for warning signs that an employee may be gathering and passing information outside your company.
And they can use access points that we've already talked about. They can use professionals, doctors, attorneys, anybody in the 7 pillars of society, and we have already had that happen to us. It prevailed and turned up to be a bad thing in our lives. This is how you know the wolves in sheep clothing. And they say, oh, I wasn't, but what you did caused a problem. And we're always the good people, like here in this column here, gracious, lead with truth, and trying to fix things. If it's a mistake, you're going to want to fix that. Even if you're a bad guy, because you got to get on the right side of things. It'll look better for you. At least you fixed it before it was too late. Some people had the mentality of, advising us, and it's legitimate. It's another legitimate strategy. Let them get away with it so you can pin more on them. And I'm like, I really don't want more to unravel, write another report on. Let's really stop this, and we will say the truth. We were seeing this happen. We had advice to try to let it go and let them do the full thing to us so we can pin more on them, or stop it in its tracks. And certain times we decided to stop it in its tracks immediately because we didn't want to have to work so hard to undo it, right? Mm-hmm. So that is a form of an insider threat. It doesn't necessarily have to be somebody you employ or work with within your place, but it could be somebody you work with as a third party or affiliate. And a third party would be anybody in the 7 pillars of society, an attorney, a doctor, and I'm not saying all of them. There are great attorneys out there. Actually, there are more great ones than not. We're just trapped in this funnel, the marketing thing. There really are. There are great instructors. There are great, law enforcement, great doctors. We're just, struggling to find the right ones because we keep getting led that way because our communication's infiltrated. See what I was talking about? He who rules communication can rule the world. Look what happened to the Jews. The same thing. I'm getting off track, sorry. But the same thing. They couldn't get communication in and out to say, hey, look what's being done to us. Really sad. Okay, but so that can come in many forms, the insider threats. Okay, go ahead. You're doing great.
Yeah. So, foreign travel. So it says, when traveling to a foreign country, you and your company's information are at greater risk. And there's 2 points for this. As many foreign countries do not have legal restrictions against technical surveillance. And second point, some foreign governments help their domestic corporations collect competitive intelligence.
I have a lot to say on this. So thank you, President Trump. He is actually
making the countries accountable for this stuff.
You know a lot about this. You want
to? Yeah, let me see what I know here. certain countries have been apparently stealing intellectual property, or rather it's been filtered through the country for other corporations.
A laundering of
Laundering.
intellectual property.
Because a lot of these countries do not have intellectual property, not rights, but they don't enforce it for other countries they don't have any proper dealings with. So they just steal stuff, and supposedly they have it to where people can't do anything about it, or they just make it very hard for someone to do something about it. So within the recent deal, it is now enforceable to where you can now I believe you can actually sue people now in other countries that are like this, that have stolen intellectual property.
And they can, if we're not mistaken, now help victims of this kind of intellectual property laundering and theft and the outcomes of it. So thank you, President Trump. We are so appreciative of it, but this is just one step. This is not enough. And I don't mean to sound ungrateful at all, but I'm sure he knows as well. It's not enough. More needs to be done, and we're getting there. So somebody let in that floodgate. Somebody allowed a gatekeeper to allow all of this stuff to happen. And we have seen evidence of it because I had an idea. And ideas are copyright protected too. There's a way to do it, and there's a way to protect your ideas. And I'm not going to go into that because you have to pay me for that service. You have to pay me and at least get the books, the worksheets, and all of this. I'm not going to give everything up and away. I don't mind sharing this and examples of what happened to us, which is also because this is, we took this, downloaded it from the FBI website, so it's out there for everybody. We are not claiming copyright over this. We are sharing these points and giving you our examples, which you cannot steal our examples, because not only is it in written form, it's now in digital video form. You know, it's our life stories. But to get back to this, we know that in one case, we saw on a billboard, which was close to where our office was, and we're like, "Who? That was my idea," remember? Mm-hmm. And we know what device was around, too. And we were actually going to employ that, meaning work on it and put it into practice. And it was pretty original, too. And I know how I came up with the idea. We were looking at something that led to something that led to something. And it wasn't a derivative work. It was completely random and different. But my brain just kind of goes there. And then I had a little bit of a dream. And then we saw that, because they were already using surveillance. So, and I was talking, and we were talking, and so they knew we were working on it. We saw the billboard, and they always left a hint drop like that. I'm like, well, that's kind of dumb. And we looked, we photographed it, and it was in a foreign, completely language that I'm not familiar with, and we were able to track it down, and that's what started getting us thinking, oh, intellectual property laundering. It was being done through another country. Whoever would have thought that? You know, so one thing led to another, which led to another, and it was revealed to us, this very thing that Super J over here is bringing up. It's very, very invasive and horrible what happened. But, you know, good things are coming out of what President Trump is doing. So I kind of have to take issue to the people who are saying that he's not doing a good job, that he has done so much. Oh my goodness, right? Mm-hmm. He has done so much, just even looking at this aspect alone. And I'm like, that's pretty amazing. So we don't care if you bully us because we are liking this guy. At least what he's doing. We don't want to say anything more too much, but the thing is, we are kind of not caring if you bully us, because, you know, that seems to be the thing. If you like this guy, if you like President Trump, then people start bemeaning you and belittling you and bullying you and doing all these horrible things. Well, gee, that just seems really convenient to us, because what? Are they part of the they that are attacking him too? The same people are attacking us. We have to consider all things. And is that part of the whole plan? To, oh, people don't want to be in the outside group, so let's make that the outside group. Anybody who likes President Trump. Too bad. Go ahead. You took your best shot and you lost. This is where we get justification. We have justice reign. This is where we turn the tables on evil and finally get restitution and get treated right. Okay, anyway, we have a lot to say on that one, but go ahead.
Alright, next one, protection strategies. So, assess your company's information, security variables, and fix or mitigate the risks associated with those vulnerabilities. Do not store private information vital to your company on any devices that connects to the internet.
Can you slow down with each point again? The same thing stands, because I have something to say about all of them.
Okay, for each point?
Yeah.
Or you want to reread any?
Yeah, go back to the first one.
So, access your company's information, access your company's...
Assess.
Assess your company's... Sorry, I'm not having a problem with the word assess, it's the sentence I am.
Okay.
Assess your company's information security vulnerabilities and fix or mitigate the risks associated with those vulnerabilities.
Yeah, we've done so. And we're getting a lot of help tightening up our security. Now, there's something else that, they like to do, apparently. They like to say, oh, well, we were doing you a favor by pointing out your vulnerabilities to you. That's not going to fly in court. You weren't doing us a favor, because obviously if you were doing us a favor, you would have just come alongside of us and say, hey, you know what, we noticed that this is happening. Why don't you do A, B, and C? Instead of actually making A, B, and C happen. Because now we have evidence of that happening, and that's really wrong to do. So yeah, we've done so, and that's what I'm saying, guys. Get independent. The best protection is getting away from third parties and affiliates in a very respectful way. You do have to work and reach out with other companies. Like, we're very multi-talented and pretty well-rounded. So we have that benefit. So we don't have to rely on a lot of other entities now to do, fix the computers or this and that. To where if we have it in a shop someplace, we want to say, oh, great, we know a really great person who does this, but we obviously cannot do that because we've found out in some cases that our files were stolen, rerouted in another directory, so it was almost impossible for us to find, but we did. And we know that things were deleted because we actually have backups of backups of backups of backups, and we have printed information. And so thankfully, it's been a pain in the ass. We've been able to find things, right? So we've been doing that, and we've been protecting ourselves, but I strongly suggest if you have something like this happen to you, you have to back everything up, start from the beginning, and get independent of all of these other third parties and affiliates so you can control things. My dad always says the most powerful thing that you can do for a business is go directly from the producer to the consumer and cut out the middleman. That's unfortunate because some people rely on being middleman, being the computer fix-it guy, and I'm not saying all people are like this, but should you find out, because that's legitimate. We want businesses like that. Mm-hmm. But if you find yourself in our position, we don't know who to trust all the time. So we have to just take our stuff back and say, no, we have to just be this for right now. And then, once other people prove in themselves, the trust but verify, what Ronald Reagan said. And yes, I loved Ronald Reagan. I was a little kid, but I still loved Ronald Reagan. I'm not ashamed of it. I don't care if people try to belittle me for it. Tough noogies. He did some really great things, and some things I hold in question, but he was great. So we don't trust and verify. We verify first, and then maybe we'll trust you. We have learned a very important lesson, and we just wanted to, say that's a great thing to say and do, but there's a procedure with us now. So with this whole thing, you have to see what the weakness and vulnerabilities are, and so we can thank our enemies and say, "Hey, thank you for bringing it to our attention," but it is not credit to you because you destroyed some aspects of us, personally and professionally.